should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Boom to the A, all you sports fans out there in the tubosphere, to you, the individual, as part of this collective. Welcome to the OMSR Gen 5.0 with your brief but very concise, even when words said thrice, host Will the Alternative Spin, Sports Thrill. Woo, crochet. Doing the intro show thing-a-ling-a-majing. Preview some snapshots of the video highlights coming up. Got part Baltimore, part tribute to B.B. King. Now, some of my subs on the last episode, I was saying it was kind of karmic. Oh yes, the Briggs-Meyer personality profile in one word coming up. This comes back around the block. But anyhow, what happened to the mayor, unfortunately, was a little bit karmic. What I meant by that was for weeks before all of this blew up, most recently, in the sense of in the past, 2 weeks before the fuse was lit in Baltimore, all these accolades being paid to this young woman, also African American, major city in America, most notably on hardball. I don't know what your political, viewing habits are, but she was being given a lot of props. And there's a Senate seat opening up. Senior Senator Maryland retiring, so a lot of talk was being given to her, and she started kind of singing her own tune. Thought, well, maybe with all these great police reforms on my watch being done in Baltimore, boom. That's when the shiznit hit the fan. By the way, you see from Dwayne, darn that, ultimate sports fan, the OMSR mascot, and a few of the Pi Kappa Alpha House sweethearts. You chapter Alpha Tau, giving you props. Alright, so we got Mr. former Baltimore detective giving the lowdown all up. Internal Affairs, IA. You ever see that movie with Andy Garcia on the lowdown, the dirty side of IA? Alright, freeze that. Briggs and Meyer, thank you gals. Check out, house cheerleaders. Instead of house sweethearts. Pulled back a little bit from the total fraternity system, since the emphasis of the OMSR is college sports and the college life. But with all that, the can of worms that seemed to be opened up after the SAE debacle at Oklahoma, I sort of pulled it back a little bit. Alright. Here's the guy who's probably, I would want to say, the most swelled head in his position. Alright. Miller. Authoritarian. Goodson. Attitude. Nero, unquestioning. Porter, wayward, as in he's lost his way from his roots. Bitter, callous. Definitely, I think those one words sum up those individuals, and they may not all be bad officers, and of course the 2 who were on scene, the ones who started it all, but, rest in peace, Freddie Gray. I'm doing my part out here in SoCal. I'm doing my best to memorialize some of the lessons learned. So we got him talking about Baltimore PD. Mayor, yeah, I think you can kiss that senatorship. Bye-bye. Then we'll get into the sport rant about why is it in this day and age, since B.B. King is the theme doing a tribute to him, that Black people always welcome entertainment, of which there are a few slots, be it sports, acting, music, and all that, right? Encapsulated in entertainment. But for just a regular, white-collar career, successful 9-to-5 type gig, or 8 to 8, as the case may be, there's plenty of more slots and more demand available, and yet it's an inverse reciprocal relationship that goes on there. In the meantime, let's ingress back to the main feature of Gen 5.0, which is the wheel in a box. Down here in the corner, low profile, low drag, high speed, especially on this episode. Chiming in every little bit between their sound bites. Also use this format in the sport rant segway, but I'm gonna have that sort of split up into two. Review why this sort of fraternity mindset culture is a very bad thing in police departments. As spoken by one who knows. It's unfortunate. You've never seen Internal Affairs, Andy Garcia, older movie. Grip the dark side of IA. You got a lot of acclaim for it, even though the film didn't. Definitely. And you know, it's unfortunate, dude. You know, like, yeah, you know. You turn against one of your own like that. That's what allows bad cops and sort of that culture and mindset to exist, indeed, if not flourish.
Suspect back into the house.
It's totally important
and he brought him into a back room where
some of these events in Baltimore, they're herein for the record.
You know, we're supposed to
Should
uphold the law. I tried to report it that night and was told that if I
same sort of set of circumstances is bound to be in electricity when the fuse is lit.
That was former Baltimore Detective Joe Crystal, who testified
Chris
against
Hayes,
fellow officer for beating he administered, leading to that officer's conviction.
Here and
And then
now,
he says
get some
he
good
was run out
interviews
of
as
the
well.
department, and Joe Crystal joins me now by phone. Joe, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am. Thank you for having me on your show, Mr. Hayes. It's a pleasure.
Okay, Joe, you were a Baltimore police
I'm a
officer. You're kind of a
respectable,
rising
looking
star.
guy
You were
as opposed to
promoted
the
very
like the
rapidly.
mugshots.
You actually
I
testified against a
submit to
fellow
those
officer
mugshots with all
for being
respect
a
to them.
suspect. Is that right?
Yeah, well, when you're putting yourself out there as a opponent, you kind of have to be that way,
And what
even though they
happened after you
kind
did
of
that?
deserve where they're at, straight up.
So to be honest, it
But
actually even started before once I actually reported the
those
incident.
shots
From
of them
the
sort
time that I
of
reported
look
the
like
incident,
they
I
reveal
had
the
issues
kind of the
of
inter-person
people
deal,
saying
right?
They didn't want to ride with me.
That's what I'm getting at, whereas
Being
this
called
dude
snitching around
looks...
my face. 2 separate times, sir, I called for backup and did not receive backup.
Well,
Actually, mere blocks away from where the CVS was that was lit on fire, just to give your viewers a visual idea of the area. It was about 3 blocks away from there. 2 separate times I didn't get backup. Somebody came to my house and put a dead rat on my car. After I testified against the officers, everything spun up again. I had to deal with the same type of things, being called a snitch and a rat. I had to deal with people making fake Twitter accounts, accusing me of all types of things with my picture.
Again, with Twitter being used for... Okay, you know, Twitter, you better wake up, Twitter. NSA is going to come in and nationalize you. There's going to be no more Twitter.
I was told I had to watch
You're letting ISIS get away with all kinds of shiznit.
It just became miserable. They even tried as far as to, you know, investigate me. After, and it's just, I feel something important to bring
Truth
up.
to tell, I'm kind of detailed some of my sources.
Marilyn Mosby's announcement of charges for these
yeah,
6 today, and what do you think is going to happen
there's ways to
in the Baltimore Police
with
Department
it,
and the
but they're
State's
not.
Attorney's Office as this goes forward?
We'll see.
Well, for one, I'd like to actually say that I think that the State Attorney, Miss Marilyn Mosby, handled herself in the press conference extremely well. I'd actually say the mayor could probably learn something from
getting
the State
honored.
Attorney, Miss
They don't just
Mosby,
hand out
by
honors
the
per
her
se.
demeanor and the way she handled it, the way she came across so professionally. As far as what happened, obviously it's a sad day for police in general across the country. This is bigger than just Baltimore. It's important that the citizens of Baltimore feel that justice is being served.
For the
At the
thug
end
part.
of the day, a
It's
man
on the other
died
episode.
was even told by the state
Political
attorney
rant,
for no
as
reason.
it were.
A man had passed away for no charges and for no reason, and that's horrible. As far as the relationship between the state's attorney's office goes, I'm not sure how that's going to impact it. It could impact it in a negative way. I read about the S.O.P. how they wanted Miss Mosby to bring in a special prosecutor, so that could be a preview of things to come.
Did you know any of the officers who were charged and arrested today?
I worked with one of them briefly. Lieutenant Rice was my sergeant for a brief amount of time, while maybe 3 or 4 weeks when he was still a sergeant.
Do you imagine or anticipate that we would
I was going to do a sport rant to this effect
any actions
and sum
taken
up
by
those
the Baltimore
mugshots in one
police
word.
in a sort of concerted fashion,
But it's mostly dude over
as
there
a
with
sort
the
of act of
stash.
protest against these
Attitude.
charges?
Well, my first thought to that, like I said, when I read about what the union...
Bridge my personality test, huh? They should start maybe applying that, like doing the military, especially in the Marine Corps.
If they felt that way when they did their first press conference, instead of the...
Maybe I'm being ignorant on that. No, maybe I do that, but the police ain't the military.
Until that time, I feel that this is an issue they should have raised before officers lined up.
Absolutely. All right, let's keep it, boss. Keep in the memory of keeping Freddie Gray's tragic passing, but having started something hopefully that ends up good for many. Alive. Also, let some of you black folks back east, certainly my subs, know, hey, there's a lot of us white people who care. And, you know, it's unfortunate, yeah, that most of us, I'll be honest, never really gave Baltimore much thought other than, like, the Orioles, or the Ravens. In terms of, like, social problems, got enough of that going on in your own city, have thought about it, like America on a whole, the world on a whole, people in need, whatnot. And with regard to B.B. King, it's unfortunate, yeah, black people have always been accepted in entertainment to the level that the social wars would allow. All of the Josephine Baker, you know, paradigm from back in the 40s. So lovely picture, I have that. It's not just an entertainment or sports slot that African Americans should feel like they're always going to succeed and be accepted. All right, let's go to the really rare guitar. Again, it's made out of copper. Focus to this episode. The great B.B. King. I got a guitar he would have totally rigged on. It's pure copper with Fisher style, back in the day, old school, hardcore, you know, decks that came with their own fuses. Speakers with guitar, and it sounds like it's plugged in, full on electric. Alright, so I can't guarantee that this will come across. You'll know here in about 5 seconds. So either way, thanks for watching those silly DUIs while you're out there. Celebrating the NBA Finals, reminding you alcohol and sports, they are joined at the hip.
Welcome back to News Nation. We go back now to the tributes that are pouring in for King of Blues, B.B. King. King's friend and legendary blues guitarist Buddy Guy joins us on the phone. And here in studio, I have Alex Gale, senior editor for Billboard. Mr. Guy, thank you so much for joining us again.
Well, thank you. I can't hardly hear you now. I don't know what happened when y'all switched it. I barely could hear you, but I'll try to do my best.
You always do your best, sir. I just want to get your thoughts on B.B. King passing, your friendship, and what he meant to music.
Well, to be honest with you, without B.B. King, I don't think you'd be talking to me or no one else this morning. B.B. King taking the guitar from the music store chef to why the owner of the music store would tell you, I don't know, you would walk in and ask the price of the guitar. He said, I don't know, just make me an offer. Because wasn't nobody playing it, and it wasn't exposed like he did. And after he made 3 o'clock in the morning, they changed that. When you walk in there, they told you what the price was. And I tell all the guitar companies I'm familiar with, I say, y'all should give B.B. King a percentage of every guitar you sell, because he set the price of a guitar where you used to could walk in the store and they'd tell you that, and now they put the price on it. You almost had to buy a guitar like you buy a car now on time. And he's the cause of that.
He's the cause of that. You know, we showed an interview with B.B. King, and he said that he didn't believe that he did anything special, that how he played, that there were a lot of people who played like that, a lot of people, he said, who were better. That it seemed as if he didn't truly understand how great he was. How do you explain that?
Well, we've been friends ever since 1958, and he even told me once he had never made a record he liked, so I say, I shouldn't have no complaints. Because I know I have made as good a record as he do, because every guitar player from the rock stars, superstars, everybody else was playing some of B.B. King licks. but they got special effects on their amplifiers and guitars, and BB only special effect was his left hand.
Instantly cite B.B. King, and I have to admit they talk about, of course, you as one of the greats, that you together and Coco Taylor, folks like you helped keep the blues alive when many felt that it had gone the way to other forms, other genres of music.
Well, it's like the automobile. You know, you used to have to crank an automobile from the crank at the front of it to its manual cranking. And now you can punch a button and start it before you leave out your house if you get a new one. So B.B. King did that with the guitar. Like I said before, he made 3 o'clock in the morning. You could look at it. Didn't he have a price on the guitar? They would say, just move it. If I can move it, I'd have room to sell something else, because the guitar, you couldn't hear it until Les Paul and B.B. King made that guitar what it is today.
That was just an amazing moment. And there's only one instrument that almost everyone in America, everyone in the world can name, and that's Lucille.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a reason for that, because that guitar, it was like a voice. It sang. You hear that vibrato, the vibrato that he did in those bent notes, you can hear that. Eric Clapton, just, you know, guitarists all over the world, rock, blues, jazz, wherever you go.
What is it about B.B. King that you have this long list and a wide range of artists who cite him as an influence, and does anyone exist like that today? You know, I think what's really sad, obviously, aside from the life, is that he's the life that's been lost. Is he's a missing link just to a time that's like gone. He was born in 1925 on a cotton plantation. His father left when he was a child. His mother died when he was 9. His grandmother died when he was 14, and he picked cotton. And so he not only played the blues, he really lived the blues. And he said some of the earliest sounds, he once said in an interview that the earliest sounds he ever heard that he remembers were people working in the cotton fields. And that whenever he sang or played, he heard those same sounds. So that's gone, and that's something that you can't replace. You can't replace, and so as a result, you don't see someone with that range of influence. And we said earlier, from Mississippi to the White House, to all around the world. There was a period for 50 years where he did an average of 250 shows a year, something like that. He had 35 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, 33 albums on the Billboard 200 album chart. That's just, I think, 15 Grammys. That's just an undeniable run. I mean, if you look at that amount of shows, that's like a Olympian, Herculean feat. Like, the guy was a titan. He really was, all the way to the end, and we celebrate his life.